there, we are going to show you how to do a tandem carry with 2 wraps using the combination of a front cross carry on the front and a ruck in the back. And you can either do a ruck tied at shoulder, which is actually my personal favorite, or a ruck tied under bum. So depending on which one that you like the best. So what we're first going to do to set up the back or the front wrap first, sorry about that, is to find our middle marker. And we're just going to kind of do a gathering. And we're going to start that middle marker up on the middle of my back, just to kind of hold it in place. I'm going to take one rail and tuck between my legs just to hold it for a second. And find my top rail coming around the other side here. And I'm going to take that top rail and I'm going to flip it across my body and going over my opposite shoulder. Some people find that they like to go ahead and do a kangaroo style shoulder flip. So if you want to do that, you are welcome to. So to do that, you can just find your bottom rail, do a twist around, and alright. And then I'm going to work again with my rail that I had just brought across my shoulder and across my back, and I'm going to take this piece now and tuck it in between my legs so I can then grab this other piece, and I'm going to make sure that I have my top rail and bring it across my torso and flip over the shoulder. If you want to flip your rails, you can flip your rails. It's not a necessary step, but if you want to do it. And then we're going to bring it around and tie off sort of loosely at the waist. So what I like to do here, because we're setting up a tandem carry, is to try to work out some of the slack that I know I'm going to kind of need to deal with once I have my baby in. So I'm going to just kind of pull and make sure that I have about the right amount of slack. So just some adjusting. Okay. So make sure my rails are going where I want them to. Alright, so this looks pretty decent to drop my toddler into, because that's I'm going to use it as a toddler. So that's pretty good from here. So now, actually I forgot, I'm using a baby doll, so it might be a little bit loose. We'll see what happens. Alright, so then once I have the front wrap up and on, one of the important parts if you're doing a ruck is to make sure that these rails sort of stay up kind of a little bit closer to your neck while you're first getting the back baby on. It'll make it a little bit easier when you're doing your ruck in a moment. So I'm going to grab my back baby and start my ruck, and I'm going to do a ruck tied at shoulder because that's actually my favorite. So I'm going to start a little bit off centered. Yeah. Come here for a minute. And I'm going to get baby up onto my back.
I'm just fixing it for you.
So now that I have baby up on my back, I am going to finish out my ruck by making my seat first. I'm going to pull her arms out because she's going to want her arms out. Alright, so you're going to want to make sure that you get a fairly decent seat in there, and you're also going to want to make sure that you really take a little bit of time to work the slack out, because when you're working the slack out of this front wrap, it's going to move back baby around just a little bit at first. So I'm going to first stand all the way up, which will kind of stick her down into that seat. I'm going to tuck my shoulder rail in between my legs for a moment. And I'm just going to strand by strand tighten out
Mommy, it's a little bit sunny right there.
It is a little bit sunny. Okay, so I'm going to take my back rail now. And if you're doing a tied under bum, you would just tie off under the bum, obviously, at this point. But I'm going to bring mine back over. And I'm going to tie off at my shoulder, which I've got a long enough wrap. I could do a candy cane.
Mommy, where are you
But we're just going to tie off at shoulder.
Mommy,
right
where
now
are you going to put the front baby heel?
Oh, I'm going to show you. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, so we've got our back baby finished
And
at this point, pretty much.
Baby.
Stop, Paige.
Okay.
And
Like
we're going to get.
You said you wanted a different
We're
one.
gonna get the front baby loaded in now that we've got the back baby secure. Alright, so see how this is up onto my shoulder now? So you can do it a couple different ways. You can move your shoulder straps up and over and just kind of work it back underneath.
Uh-oh, your eyes. Let's fix your eyes. Let's fix your shirt.
Just gonna make it a little bit more comfortable. If you're gonna be wearing two babies a little bit longer term, you definitely don't want stuff bunched up on your neck. So let me just work it out.
Whoa. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Your eyes. Your eyes.
All right, so then we're going to sort of open our passes up, and you're gonna start with inner rail.
There you go.
So I'm gonna start baby up over my shoulder. I'm going to drop them into the first rail. Stop it, Paige. And then I'm going to work into the second rail. I know, his head was there. All right, so then you just have to really kind of
Be
pull
careful with the baby.
to work out that slack, because back baby's going to be putting a little bit of pressure on it.
Mommy.
So find and just work out, and make sure you go. Oops, need a knee. There we go. Now we're down. So it's just going to take a little bit of time in this particular area to get the wraps
Baby.
pulled a little bit from back baby out a little bit more, and then readjusting shoulders as you feel comfortable. So when you find a little bit of slack, then you can just go through and work it around, pull it towards your knot, and then when you get done, we're just going to take the knot, that's all the slack that I had, sort of pulled out, and retighten up your knot. Okay, so that part is done. And one of the reasons why I like to tie it shoulder is because you can then go through and loop your front cross a little bit onto, so you can do a gathered chest pass and loop it through the other shoulder straps, at least if you have a long enough wrap. And that makes it just a little bit more secure when you have multiple babies that are gonna be kind of bouncing around. So
Two multiple babies.
So you can do a knotless finish tie off, where you just loop it back around and through, or kind of whatever style of a chest belt that you can get away with the particular wrap that you're wearing. But then you'll have front cross carry with the front baby and a ruck with the back baby.